today. We're here with Dustin Nelson. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. We had a rough time in the SR1, but we're getting ready here in the YXZ 1000R for the production 1000 class, and hopefully we'll have a good run.
That's what we like to hear. How's everything been running so far with this car today?
It's good. You know, the last time we were here for rounds 1 and 2, we won the first day, got second the second day. We're starting fourth in the main event tonight, so you know, hopefully we can move forward, get up on the podium, and hopefully pull off a win.
Absolutely, that's what we like to see out here. Well, good luck out there today, and we hope to see you on podium, all right?
Thank you.
We're going to give it away here shortly, so if you want to get in on the 50-50 raffle, I will. Will Munns, what would you do with an extra $250 today? What would you do with an extra $250? Wait, he goes, what? I just asked you if you wanted some money. $250. What would you do with it?
I'd buy a spare tire.
A spare. Most redneck answer, I'll give me another tire for my truck right there. You know, I knew the Munns had a little bit of redneck in it, but geez, no, really, what would you do with $250?
I'd go buy that new battery that I need.
I'm getting the hell out of here. I ain't talking to you anymore. Like, yeah, yes, indeed. That's funny. All right, let's get back into this class right now, the DragonFire Production 1000 UTV class. Please, please, please get signed up for our 50-50 raffle. I can't explain it enough. Let's meet the drivers really quick if we can get it done. Are we ready? On your mark and set, go. Car number 964, Robert Van Beekem. Cory Weller in the number 948 car. Trisha Wright will be in the number 907. Dustin Nelson driving number 940. Ken Benson in the number 995 car. 919, George Hamill, he's out here in the new Yamaha YXZ. Daly Pentico, also the YXZ, in the 936 car. Mia Chapman, 937. And Daniel Roberts out there in the number 924. Elizabeth Bash, number 933. 977, Brian Bunkers. 975, Wayne Pierce. And 957, Chris Sheriff. We're going green this time around. Who's it going to be? Let's find out. All right, so we've already got a car over. It looks like Cory Weller. It is Cory Weller. Looks like she's okay. That sense that was the roller incident in turn number 1. That's right, we're going to restart the race. Her tires seem to have air. Doesn't look like it's too bad of a roll. And that's going to talk about the durability of the Yamaha YXZ. I'm sure we're going to talk to her about it. Or at least find out the story tomorrow. So Cole Keatts, man, I tell you what, man, interesting out there watching your race. But what was going on out there? What was your race like?
Oh, it was good. Connor, Trey, Haley, and Christopher are all fast. We know we're there. We just can't figure out where to find a passing spot, but it was good. And we know we're changing cars for the changing parts for the national, and we'll just see how it goes. Right on, man. I got to tell you, being an announcer, always being able to quickly identify the car. I love the black and orange, man. It's very easy to identify. Yeah, that's what all my parents say, and everyone. They can see the orange. They see the giant pumpkin coming around. The giant pumpkin. I'm going to have to call it that. You know, I've nicknamed Riley Pierce the turtle, obviously, because she's not. Everybody says, well, why do you call it a turtle? Not because she's slow, but she turtles quite a bit. But, you know, so the big pumpkin, the great pumpkin, that's what we'll call it, right? Is that what you guys call it? Hey, what's in store for you in your future? Oh, we're going to be doing rally car in the GRC series, and we'll be trying to maybe get a little bit of pro light here and there. Do you have any experience driving a rally car yet? Yeah, we'll be under, we've got a team that's picking us up, and we've got our own rally car, and we're just doing tests right now. What kind of car? It's just a GRC Lights supercar, and it's a stock motor, but it goes. I can't wait to see you, Cole Keatts, everybody, rally car racing. We're going back to racing. Cory Weller still in the front line, right next to Bobby Van Beekem. Who do you think is going to win this race right here, Cole? What's your prediction? Hopefully Trisha, but Bobby's are really fast, and Cory's really fast. All right, I agree with you. Bobby Van Beekem out there in the Muzzy sponsored Polaris out there. But look at that, Cory Weller out there rolling. She's getting out front, and George Hamill out there, number 919. We'll see what's going on. Right up. All right, back to racing. A lot of cars slipping and sliding there in turn number 4. And Cory Weller, after wrecking in turn 1, I cannot believe my eyes. She is firmly out front of Bobby Van Beekem. And look at this. Car number 919, George Hamill, get to my podium, my friend.
All right, we've got another car over. Looks like Elizabeth Bash. I do believe that is Elizabeth Bash, so that'll bring out the full course caution. We've got a car over on the side. And that's going to leave the top three. Cory Weller, DragonFire sponsored, Muzzy sponsored, Robert Van Beeken, and Supercut sponsored, George Hamill. Top three. All right, the story of this race so far, though. Cory Weller almost tumbling into the fence there. Apparently didn't do any damage to her tough Yamaha YXZ 1000. And now during the restart, she finds herself leading this DragonFire Racing Production 1000 class. All right, back to racing. Let's see how things have shaped up. Is Cory Weller still out front? Indeed. Now, Cory Weller, what's really interesting here about Cory Weller, I talked about it earlier. We were talking about her SR1 charges, and I told her in the awards banquet, I said, man, you're going to have to show us that you can still race. And I'll tell you what, Yamaha YXZ, there's no better vehicle to prove that you are still a good driver. And Cory Weller doing a great job now out front of a very seasoned veteran, Robert Van Beeken, in that Muzzy sponsored car. And quickly behind them, and you can see Dustin Nelson now coming into the picture. Can George Hamill hold off a very hard charging Dustin Nelson, or will Dustin Nelson get around the Supercut sponsored YXZ? So we'll find out right now. All right, Cory Weller doing as she does in the SR1 class. She's extending her lead over Bobby Van Beeken right now. And this could be pretty critical because this is the second half. We don't have another mandatory caution. If there's no other cautions, it's going to happen. You're going to see Cory Weller on top of my podium. Dustin Nelson still challenging George Hamill for that third place. Dustin Nelson all over the back bumper of George Hamill. But nobody on her back bumper. Cory Weller out clean. Will she take the white flag this time around? Or is that a caution flag? I can't tell. All right, so I called it. That indeed is the mandatory caution. We're halfway there. So we're going to see how it's going to shape up here in the second half of this incredible DragonFire Racing Production 1000 UTV class. We'll see what's going to happen. Can Cory Weller get the job done, or is she going to succumb to the pressure of Bobby Van Beeken? We'll find out here in the second half. Conclusion here to this DragonFire Racing Production UTV, because Cory Weller, after a very uncharacteristic crash into turn 1 here on the start, she was able to regroup and get back to up front with the restart. So we're going to see how this shapes up. The story right now, though, is Dustin Nelson. And actually, as I'm looking out on the track, Dustin Nelson did get around George Hamill. Looks like Bobby Van Beekem had to retire. I don't see Bobby Van Beekem. Is he out there? No. Okay, so Bobby Van Beekem had to retire, so that's going to switch some things up. So now Dustin Nelson firmly in second place. Can he have anything to give to Cory Weller here in this second half? And is George Hamill going to stay firmly in third place, because he's got his hands full with Ken Benson out there? Ken Benson in that number 995 car. We're going back to racing. We're going green this time around. Things already switching up. Mia Chapman quickly getting around Ken Benson. Can Mia Chapman get up to challenge the leaders? Mia Chapman now putting her bid in as they go into turn 3, but that's Trisha Wright on the outside. Trisha Wright closing the door on Mia Chapman. So now Trisha Wright to the outside of the decision. Mia Chapman to the inside. So Trisha Wright now gaining some ground on George Hamill. Trisha Wright in the Polaris in the top 3 in the Yamaha YXZ. So Lance, man, watching Cory Weller out here in the production UTV class doing business as usual. She's doing pretty good.
Hey, Cory is killing it out front right now. She is holding it down. Dustin's just chomping at her heels right now, just trying to make every move, and she's just holding it together, totally keeping it under, totally holding the pressure down.
That's the way she does it, man. I think she responds best under pressure.
Yeah, she does, man. For Cory Weller is one of the top-notch drivers out here for sure. She SR1. The Yamaha, she just holds it down. She doesn't even matter. She just is pedal to the metal.
So before we get back on Cory Weller, how do you like your new ride?
The new SR1 is good. It's new. I qualified 7th and I finished 7th. So I guess I would say that's probably pretty good. Being my first race in it, not having it all dialed in to my liking, but we will get working on that real soon.
I'm sure you will. Lance Root right here. Everybody go over and talk to him in the Super Sick booth. Let's get back to racing. Cory Weller is holding off Dustin Nelson. She's only got one more turn to negotiate. Dustin Nelson to the inside of the decision. Cory to the outside. Can Dustin get around her? No, it's going to be Cory Weller. And third place undecided, Trisha Wright just getting around George Hamill. So we'll talk to the leaders right after this. So let's get this podium started here. Come on up here, Tricia. Let's get going. So very excited here. We got one more race, and then we're going to give away the money for the 50-50 raffle. Somebody's going to be walking away with more than $250. All right. Tricia Wright, man, I tell you what, I love talking to you. You're slowly becoming one of my favorite drivers. You know, you are so aggressive. You are so passionate. You want this. Third place for Tricia Wright. Make some noise out there. I mean, it's so fun to watch. I mean, George Hamill, I did want to see him up here on the podium, man, but you got that spot. You just took it.
Yeah, I had to be patient.
Patience good. You know, patience is good, but I do love the way that you're aggressive. I mean, these were the only two you had to work with over here, but so you're, as far as I'm concerned, I'm becoming a Tricia Wright fan. So who do you want to say thank you to?
I gotta say thanks basically to the whole XMF crew. They built me a great car this year. It's a new car, so it's running great. Summer Brothers Racing, Ken Cycle Tech, car is pretty fast, so thanks to him. Walker Evans, I just went blank. My parents, Jimmy, my spotter, and everybody that came out, and I'm missing somebody else. Oh, R&R Steel and Lone Star.
All right, perfect. I think you did perfect. Tricia Wright, everybody look for her in the future. She's got a bright future ahead of her. But Dustin Nelson, after a hard time today with a wheel falling off, it's got to be good to be sitting here talking to me on the podium. I know it's pretty disappointing out there. A little altercation there, but you got back up here on the podium.
Yeah, we're missing our track guy for sure. The track is a handful today. It's slippery. It's watered a lot, and you know, I don't know if it's the new dirt or just the prep, but it's crazy slippery out there today. You know, I would blame about at least half the carnage on that, but you know, it was a crazy race. We got crazy in the first turn right away. Cory goes flipping. They go restart. She gets her spot back and takes off and wins it. You know, it's like, you know, and then on the restart, I spun myself in turn 4, just trying to avoid somebody else. And, you know, hey, that's racing. I went to the back and I put my head down and charged back through. And we made it up to second. So tomorrow we'll try to, you know, move one step up.
Well, definitely still very exciting to watch. I mean, you know, after your slip up, having to get up there and make up that ground and get back right behind Cory. I'm sorry about the static. We'll try to get that fixed out. Maybe it's just where I'm standing. But it's still very exciting to watch you dice through the pack and get back up here.
Oh, that's exciting. That's for sure. Sometimes a little more exciting than we really want. But, you know, these cars, they have some wheels sticking out further than the sides of them. So when we make contact, it's not always a good outcome. But it got pretty tight a few times, but it was all in fun. Everybody was trying to drive clean. It was slippery, and it was a tough drive. So, you know, congrats to Cory. She won with a beat-up car, and, you know, we'll try to do some homework overnight and see if we can beat her tomorrow. All
right, very good. Well, that's a lot of attrition there to the new Yamaha YXZ. In fact, with that being said, you got a long list of sponsors. Talk to me about them.
Yeah, huge thanks to Yamaha, of course, with the YXZ 1000R. It's awesome to be in this class. And, you know, DWT Wheels and Tires, Fox Shocks, IMG builds the cage and the chassis on my YXZ and does a great job with it. Jason Weller always helps me out, whether it's the SR1 or the YXZ, so huge appreciation to him. And, you know, Brandon Kilgore from the SR1 class is spotting me, so huge thanks to him as well.
All right, Dustin Nelson, I've been back here on my box after a little disappointment with the wheel falling off earlier. But this young lady, what can you say? She's an SR1 champ. She's up here, and she's the winner of the Production 1000 class. You must be feeling pretty good. This is quite a field right here.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to come out. You know, our second real weekend out here with the YXZ and get it on the box as many times as possible. A 1-2 finish for Yamaha is all that we can ask for, really. Yeah, it was an interesting race. I did not expect to get cleaned out in turn 1. Anybody who knows me knows that if I get pissed off, I drive really, really good. So,
were you pissed?
Yeah, I was
pissed.
So maybe that just helped a little bit. You know, it just kind of narrows your focus, and I wanted it all that much more. And kudos to Yamaha for building a car that can take something like that and get out there and still get on the box in first place and still handle amazing. So it's making some funny noises. I definitely need to check it out a little bit. But yeah, and again, you know, thank you. DragonFire again came on board. They put a lot of faith in our program this year. Thank you so much. Yamaha also big sponsor for me this year. been working with them for a long time, but it's really nice to have that kind of support behind you. Weller Racing, woo!
Sit around. Jason Weller.
Jason Weller, Weller Racing. You know, I have Lucas Oil TV came on board with me really big this year too as well. So that's awesome. You know, if you don't have that app yet, check it out. You can watch the races live on that app as well.
Tell me about the app.
It's Lucas Oil TV.
So Lucas Oil TV, another app that we can watch you race on. All right, very good.
Also, Max's tires, again, you know, the track was kind of a mess out there. It was really wet. It got really dry, and those tires are just a great all-around tire. I got a little creative. I always take the inside, and I got forced to the outside line and found that one by mistake, and I stuck it. It worked for me the whole race. So race line wheels, air raid, everybody that helps me. All you guys for sticking out, you know, to the end of the day. Thank you for coming out and watching.
I told you, Cory Weller had to prove that she is still a driver. She won it. Make some noise, everybody. The production 1000 UTV brought to you by DragonFire Racing. Very good job, Cory. I talked to her at the awards meeting, and I said, well, you know what? You win in the SR1 class, but now once you move to the production class, we're going to have to see if you can drive it. And look at that.